I'm standing on the terrace looking down onto the ground as the sun shines through the clouds and turns the grass the most brilliant shade of emerald green. I can't believe it. I've dreamed so long of being here, and suddenly I am here, completely out of the blue. We were just supposed to come down and look at the outside of the stadium, and now I'm here, and the pitch is within touching distance. My uncle wants to take a photograph, and the pitch is now within more than touching distance, as the man who let us in says, "Why don't you go down onto the pitch to take your photograph?" I can scarcely believe it. It feels like someone else is stepping over that small concrete wall out behind the goal and on into the penalty area. Any moment now I keep thinking that someone's going to pop up through the ground and say, "Get out of here, what are you doing here? You shouldn't be here." But there's nobody to say that. Instead there's just me, my uncle, and the vast expanse of the Portman Road pitch. My favourite player at the time was the goalkeeper, Paul Cooper, so my uncle had a brilliant idea for a photograph, as you shall see. I can still remember the brilliant white of those nets as I walked towards them, and the sturdiness of the twine, which seemed a world away from the scagged up nets that were used on the corporation pitches near where I lived. These were nets and goals designed to take the force of 30-yard thunderbolts and powerful headers into the top corner. The goal itself seemed massive. How on earth was Cooper able to get across the line so quickly and agilely to keep penalties away? It seemed incredible to me. You might not be able to see it too well through this photograph, but I was feeling much happier than the smile looks. I was quite simply transported, unable to believe that this was happening, and I fear that with that 11-year-old air I may well have come across as a good deal more insouciant than I actually felt. I can remember my parents walking around the pitch a little bit, but there was a feeling that we needed to get away before this wonderfulness all suddenly got turned on its head by something unexpected happening. We said our goodbyes to the man and thanked him and drove back to Hertfordshire. My aunt summed it up brilliantly when she said, "Well, I've got no time for football normally, but I think that's a very special football club to do that for a little boy." She wasn't kidding. I've been back to Portman Road a few times since. I've seen several games there in the intervening years, and every time I go I look at the goal at that end of the pitch and remember the day when I stood in that goal, when I, as 11 years old, was in my head the goalkeeper for Ipswich Town Football Club. I think that the man who made this possible, I think that his name was Mike Noy. He used to work as the commercial director at Ipswich Town Football Club. And as I say, I was so amazed by what was going on that I think my thank you to him was sincere, but decidedly dazed. Well, Mr. Noy, in the event that you watch Whisper videos and that you ever see this, I want to say to you 25 years on, thank you very much indeed for making that happen and for confirming that Ipswich Town are a very special football club, and they're ones that I hold as close to my heart now as I did aged 11 when you made a little boy's dream come true.